What's good with it in the hood with it? Welcome back to the collective clips where you already know we toss around over here and toss it up all at the same time, right? But before we get to tossing, let's get to the intro. Welcome back to the collective clips. And if you haven't already hit that like and subscribe button, make sure you go ahead and do that. Put that notification bell on all so that way you're directing the direction of the dope content that the gun stays kicking. And I appreciate the support. I'm very humbled by it. Now, this case right here, I want to bring awareness to. This is a very upsetting case, and this is a word to the wise and some glecha and game for women out there that are involved in a vicious cycle type relationship, in a relationship that involves a lot of domestic abuse, man. This happened in the San Jose area, and it was brought to my attention by one of my homeboys out there. And it's circulating, man. It's pretty popular right now. It's a story that's making the news. It's actually made national news, and it's got a lot of different angles involved, man. And I'm going to read you guys the article because this one right here, I want to get all the details correct. This is, again, an alleged murder investigation, an ongoing investigation. So everything that I say and I do within this video is just my opinion. And it's just the opinion of others, man. You got to give everyone their due process. You cannot automatically assume someone is guilty just based upon, what other people are saying or what the news is putting out there. But this is a big thing going on in the San Jose area in Morgan Hill, which is right down the street from San Jose. And it does involve what they are considering a Norteno street gang member that unalived, allegedly, his girl. So let's get into it. Her name was Marissa Dinapoli, right? A Morgan Hill woman was stabbed 5 times in the back by her boyfriends, prosecutors alleged. So, prosecutors allege an 18-year-old Morgan Hill woman whose body was discovered last week near the Anderson River was stabbed 5 times in the back by her boyfriend. Again, they're just alleging this. We're going to get into the reasons why they're alleging it. The victim was confronted by her boyfriend. According to court documents on June 29th, which is just recently, Marissa Dinapoli was confronted by her boyfriend, 20-year-old Martin Mendoza, whom she had spent the night with, about contacting her ex-boyfriend. So I guess she was texting an ex or getting at an ex, and he was feeling some type of way, they're saying. That same day, Dinapoli and Mendoza were seen on home surveillance. I actually have the video, and I should have posted it, man. But I'll be posting it in a short, so make sure you guys tap into that. But they were seen on home surveillance video getting ready to leave a home on Trail Drive in Morgan Hill where Mendoza was renting a room. Dinapoli appeared visibly apprehensive in the video, and she does look a little shooken up. She looks like maybe they were arguing. Maybe something was going on. I don't know. I can't call it. Dinapoli did appear, though, visibly shaken. Cell phone data from later that day placed the couple in the area of Anderson Lake. Her family reported her missing on Monday, June 30th, after she failed to return home on Sunday as planned. Relatives said they had not heard from her since June 28th, which they said was very and highly unusual. She also failed to show up for her shift at Starbucks. So she was just a young 18-year-old, Starbucks job, doing her thing, getting involved with gang members, man. Women that, they like that. They like the thug. They like the bad boy. They like the Norteno, the south side of the Crip, the blood, the Norte thug. And what happens? Well, her car was found unoccupied near Mendoza's home on July 1st. Multiple phone calls to both Dinapoli and Mendoza went straight to voicemail and text messages, and they were unanswered. Dinapoli's body was discovered on July 2nd by a drone near the Woodchoppers Flat picnic area, according to police. The clothing she was wearing matched what she had on in the surveillance footage. She was also wearing a black necklace with a cross, which matched a photo provided to the police by her family. Prosecutors alleged Mendoza stabbed Dinapoli multiple times in the back, killing her. Authorities said there were prior unreported incidents of domestic violence in which Mendoza had assaulted Dinapoli. It's unfortunate, man. These women, they stay with these guys that continue to put hands on them. That's why when I see domestic issues happening, I don't get involved. I've went down that road, man. You try to get involved, be a captain, save a hoe, try to save the woman, try to get involved at any type of level, and they turn on you, man. These women are in love, and what they would do for love is crazy. And I've seen it on the opposite side of the tracks too. I had a homeboy that used to get beat on by my prima. She used to smash him. It was crazy, right? But he loved her. Mendoza made his first court appearance Tuesday in Santa Clara County, so he's back in San Jose where he was arraigned on suspicion of murder. Okay, they don't got concrete evidence yet. Again, it's all alleged. Outside the courthouse, family members and friends of Dinapoli rallied to make sure justice is done in this case. They said, we are all really honored to have all of the support and the attention. And it's a big thing going on in the San Jose area right now. Like a gang of people are talking about it. We are really honored to have all of the support and the attention, especially because things like this sometimes don't get the attention that it deserves, said the victim's older sister, Monica Ramirez. Sometimes things don't go the way that we hope. So I am really grateful. All the community is still sticking around. The appearance of Mendoza follows his arrest by federal officers on Sunday while trying to re-enter the United States from Mexico. So after this murder occurred, he allegedly fled to Mexico immediately. That right there is going to be a burden of guilt. Why did you go to Mexico? You know, he was trying to come back into the United States when he was busted. Authorities said Mendoza drove across the San Ysidro border on July 1st, then attempted to return to the U.S. on Sunday when he was taken into custody. He was later transferred to Santa Clara County from Imperial County. Mendoza's preliminary hearing will be held on September 9th. So he's going to sit there a minute before they even get at him. Dinopoli's family believes the Morgan Hill Police Department mishandled the investigation into her disappearance, alleging that officers confronted Mendoza in person but did not arrest or detain him for questioning. They said Mendoza fled within hours of that encounter. So actually the cops got at him, jammed him up, but didn't feel they had enough evidence. You know, he was a person of interest because he was the last seen person on video with her. But again, whatever he told them, they believed it. Her family says, the family also said Mendoza was only arrested by chance while trying to cross back into the U.S. a week after Marissa's death. They say, quote, we believe racial and systematic bias contributed to their inaction, costing us precious time. Their delay compromised not just Marissa's safety, but the public safety as a whole, the family said in a statement. And it's becoming a big deal because they're saying that there were some racial aspects to this. They are calling for an independent investigation into the case and a formal audit of the Morgan Hill Police Department's response. They're on it, man. This family's not taking it like that. We're not here to comment or judge the way someone grieves, and this is a very tough situation, said Morgan Hill Police Captain Mario Ramirez. They lost a loved one, so if the anger is towards us, then let it be towards us. So he's going to be accountable for the misstep with the officers. The thing is, it's a tragic situation. You know, this young woman, you know, found herself in a cycle of domestic violence with a guy who was a known gang member. You know, I got pictures of him throwing up the 14 and all that with other gang members. And that, of course, is not going to play a part into this. But when you're in that lifestyle, man, you're willing to go above and beyond. And violence is just part of that life. It just is. You know, when I was gangbanging and I was in the mix, violence was second nature. That was normal. Some of the things that I was involved in or did, and I've seen or was around while in prison, incarcerated in the youth authority, wherever, to the regular Joe Schmo society, a regular person in the community, they'd flip out, they'd trip, right? It'd be a big deal. Like, man, look at what he's doing. But to those who are incarcerated, you become desensitized. It becomes normal. You know, animalistic behavior, brutality, violence, all that becomes normal. That's expected in the lifestyle. That's why it boggles my mind that myself and others around me, homeboys that I had, homeboys that I knew that weren't built like that, and I wasn't built like that. Homeboys that would live that life knowing that there could be repercussions, knowing you could be the other one on the end of that gun or that knife immediately and very easily over very, very little, over nothing, right? Continued to get involved. It's crazy, you know, even these youngsters that are gangbanging and doing their thing, it's like, why would you do this? Why would you continue this cycle? But at the end of the day, man, I'm not here to impress upon no one poison and try to detour them from their gang life. Let them learn. Let them learn the hard way. Tough love works. In this case, this young woman was dating a guy who was aggressive, allegedly. And whether he did this or not, it's truly remarkable that people are rallying together behind this family and that it's even made national news, because so many incidences happen like this where people get hit, stabbed, shot, killed, and it's really not a big issue. You know what I've always seen, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, but I always seen every time there's a beautiful woman involved or a good-looking woman or a good-looking couple or whatever, right? A young couple, then the news will key in on that. If it's just a fat, ugly chick that gets beat up by her boyfriend, no one cares. And it shouldn't be like that, right? It should be equal opportunity, equal justice, equal everything for everybody. But that's just news media for you. They're going to use an angle and they're going to fucking prey on something and they're going to sexualize shit. And that's just how that goes. Now, as far as the cops not doing their due diligence in their job, you got to look at it from every angle. You know, just because this man was seen, the last one seen with her, doesn't automatically make him guilty. You know, he could have dropped her off. They could have been at the lake. He could have went to the store to grab some feast or whatever. Someone could have hit her. Could have been a stalker. Could have been anything. Of course, the proof is kind of overbearing because I have the video where they're walking down the stairs in this rented place wherever they stood. And you can literally hear him saying, he didn't seem like he was aggressive. She looked a little shooken up, like maybe they were arguing. Maybe he put hands on her. But you could hear him say, why'd you have to get a hold of your ex? So in those situations, jealousy, man, is crazy. It'll make men and women do crazy things that they necessarily wouldn't do in real, you know, it's real life, but they wouldn't just to do. This situation is going to continue to play out now that the family is holding the police department accountable. And of course, they're probably going to sue the county and everything. We're going to see how it works out for them. You know, obviously, by the time that these officers contacted this individual, right, got at him, questioned him, whatever they did, Marissa was dead. She was already gone. So I understand where the family is coming from and I respect them and my condolences go out to them. And I get it, man. When you lose a loved one, a sister, a brother, a mother, a father, anyone, right? Anyone, especially a child, anyone in your family, you want answers. You're thinking they could have done something to prevent this. But obviously, man, and unfortunately, the timeline, within that timeline, she was already gone. And that's the cool part about it. So there was nothing they could have done besides bringing this guy to justice, which obviously it's happened anyways. As far as, you know, the question, would he have even been caught? Was it by chance? The fact is he is caught. He will be brought to justice. And it's all alleged. If he did do this crime, if he was involved, then he's done. Now, as far as the gang member aspect, yeah, they're going to utilize that in court. Anything that you have, and look, I'm going to tell you guys right now, anything you have in your history, if you're a gang member, if you have gang-related tattoos, if you're even a past gang member, they're going to use it. Everything shall, can, and will be used against you. Ask Wack 100. He'll tell you he knows how to read people Miranda rights. It's the truth, right? They will use everything they have against you. So, unfortunately, man, this is just a situation, but I wanted to shed light on it and keep the flame going for the victim, you know, because she needs her story put out there. There's so many women that get victimized all the time, whether it be by gang members or just men in general or anybody, other women, and no one gives a shit. I do, right? I give a shit when it's women and children involved. It's, you know, I play a lot. I talk about tortas and pirujas and fucking, you know, mugres and all this. And this is just me having a good time with life and enjoying myself and playing. But I'm a protector of women. You know what I'm saying? I love all women's, all shading colors, not of all ages. You know what I'm saying? You got to be at least 25 and up for me. But I think women need to have their voices heard. And a domestic situation, you have to pay attention. If you have a family member, man, she doesn't seem right, a daughter, a cousin, whatever, you know, I'm not saying go in there and beat the dude up, but you definitely need to extract her away from that situation because shit like this happens. And think about how frivolous and stupid it is. If she contacted her ex for whatever reason, hey, it is what it is. You know, the cool part about the situation, I've seen these happen before. I've been locked up with dudes. What are you locked up for, bro? I killed my old lady. All right, right? It's your business. Shit happens. You know, I don't know what you guys were going through. But most of the stories are the same. Oh, I caught her fucking with another dude, or I caught her messing with her ex. It's always the ex, right? They can never let that go. That's why a chick shouldn't go from the ex to the next, because they still got attachment and love for the ex. You know, a lot of guys get judged and they get fucking, you know, they get held to a certain standard because of what happened with the ex. Well, he used to beat on me, so they automatically go in on this guy, and it's not even his fault half the time, right? But anyways, I was locked up with dudes that every time it was the same old story, the ex or the next or whoever, right? And they felt some type of way, so they killed her, right? All could have been prevented. All could have been prevented, man. Just move on. You know what I'm saying? If the chick is not doing what you feel, she's not respecting you the way you feel, you know, just because you're a gangster or a gang member or you got the type of attitude where you don't give a fuck, you know, hey, bro, no one's going to think bad about you. They're going to think you're stupid when you're locked up for killing your old lady, a vulnerable person that it was easy to do. You know, it's the coward way out. You hurt a woman. What does that make you? None of the homies are, hey, look, behind your back, they're going to talk about you. This fool thinks he's all bad because he's in for murder. He didn't kill an enemigo. He didn't kill a Southsider or a Northsider. He didn't kill, you know what I'm saying? Who did he kill? He stabbed his old lady 5 times in the back. Again, man, now, when it gets to the prison situation, to be totally honest with you, I've never seen anyone get plaqueated or beat up or removed on the northern side, right, for a domestic violence. Never seen it. Okay, never really met too many homeboys that were in on domestic violence issues, like beating up their old lady and shit. So I don't know, to be honest with you, if that's condoned or if it's it's a forgivable offense or whatever, because I never came across that. I came across homeboys that actually killed their old lady. That was a murder case. And it was like, hey, he went all the way out. That's on him. But as far as like just beating a chick up because you can, I'm sure there's a lot of people in there that have family members, daughters, kids, that would feel some type of way. So this guy might have it bad if he's ultimately convicted. Again, it's all alleged right now. But there's a lot of people in San Jose area. That chick has a lot of family. In fact, I've been hearing that her sister, she's out there fucking like really feeling herself. Like she's really pissed. And I get it, man. She lost her canala, her 18-year-old sister. Again, man, I want to send my condolences to the family. And I just want to say that this is an unfortunate situation, but this is how it goes. As far as this guy's day in court, he's going to get that. He's going to get that. And everyone's talking about it. So he's definitely going to, they're going to break it down, figure it out, man. They got cell towers. They got a lot of things that go on nowadays. Yeah. Look, I've said this before in videos. I'll say it one more again, right? You're not, in this era, you're not getting away with murder. It ain't happening. You got to shave your whole body and it got to be random. If anyone is dead and you happen to know them, hey, look, I'll tell you guys about this. A couple years ago, I got a phone call from a detective. And he was like, hey, do you know this person? I was like, nah, I didn't remember. It was like some girl that I went to school with fucking when we were in elementary school, Franklin Elementary School in Merced, years ago, right? Oh, yeah, she moved to New York City. She ended up getting mugged, strangled, and killed, whatever, right? They were talking to every person. I was like, nah, I haven't seen that chick for like, since we're little kids. I wouldn't even remember what she looked like, really. And he was like, yeah, just, do you know anything? I don't know shit. Even if I knew shit, I wouldn't say shit, right? But I just didn't know shit, really, in real life. The fact is, that's how far back they go. Anyone who had any interaction who was even in a fucking first grade with them, they want to know, right? So a murder case to get away with nowadays, it's just not feasible. It ain't happening. It's fairy dust. It's not real, right? You're going to get caught. This guy going to Mexico was definitely a situation that makes him look guilty. So whatever case he has, I hope he has a good one. He has a good attorney because a public defender ain't going to do shit for you. You're going to be doing life all day and nothing but all day. With that being said, let me know what you guys think. We got a super coming up later on. This is just a little something different. Let's switch it up today. I know you guys like the supers, but can we get a super story out there? A real one? For reals. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive, struggle, and strive for what I truly believe in. That's the betterment of all people. Let's keep this story going, man. Let's stay aware. For the ladies, protect them. Don't infect them. I never liked the coward that beats up on the chick. For what, bro? This kid go beat up on her ex. That's what I would have did. Bang, bang.